everyone, welcome to A to Z Yoga with me, Amy, and first of all, happy 2020, happy new year. Today's video is about resetting and renewing the body, which is a perfect way to start the new year, especially after the Christmas holidays and New Year's, where we've just been kind of maybe moving around a little bit sluggishly, maybe not really thinking about how we're moving. We've just been having lots of fun, and that's totally fine. So let's start the new year in a really great new way by resetting the feet, the pelvis, the ribs, the shoulders. It's going to completely sort you out for the beginning of your year. All you need, unless you're pregnant like me, you're going to just need a mat and a wall. If you are pregnant, then you're going to need something underneath your back, because we're going to start lying down on our backs, and being pregnant you don't want to lie down flat on your back for too long. So that's all you need. Let's begin. So we're going to start off lying on our backs with our feet on the wall, legs at a 90-degree angle. So if you've got cushions and blankets like me, then just set them up so that they'll lift you up a little bit. Otherwise, bring yourself to the wall, like so. So your feet and your knees are at a 90-degree angle, and your feet are hip distance apart, nice and flat on the wall. And then just bring your hands to your belly and close your eyes. And we're going to start by taking our focus to our breath and taking a nice deep breath in through the nose and out through the nose. And I want you on your exhale to allow the body to really begin to sink into the floor. Feel the pelvis relaxing into the ground, the ribs relaxing into the ground, the shoulders relaxing into the ground. And the head relaxing into the ground. And just slightly lengthen the back of your neck. And then let that breath move from the belly into the ribs, expanding the ribs outwards on the inhale. And then let the breath move from the belly to the ribs to the chest. And see if you can get that bit of movement in the shoulder blades, so that on the exhale your shoulder blades can then move deeper into the back. Just take one more breath there. Okay, and then keeping the pelvis, ribs and shoulders relaxed, we're just going to start to wake up the feet. So I want you just to take all 10 toes off the wall and then bring them back. All 10 toes off the wall, try and spread them as wide as you can, and then bring them back. And again, off the wall, spreading them as wide as you can, and then back. One more time. Perfect. Then we're just going to tap the balls of the feet. So you're kind of just waking up the skin and the fascia on the balls of the feet right now, which is really important, because as you move around throughout the day, if you haven't woken up the feet, it's amazing how much actually they don't really connect to the brain. Like they're just kind of switched off because you haven't thought about them, you haven't woken them up. Then relax the balls of the feet and just tap your heels. Try and keep the rest of the body stable. So you want to avoid the whole of the body going up and down as you're bouncing the heels. And then relax them. And then we're just going to crawl the feet up the wall like two little caterpillars. And you're trying to really kind of scrunch the toes towards the heels so you get a nice lift in the arches of the feet. And then you do exactly the same, but going in the opposite direction to bring them back down the wall. See if you can have a little look at your feet so you can see really how much you're scrunching them. It's amazing how many times I kind of just see this happening. So it's like hardly any movement in the toes. Really scrunch them, wake up the arches of the feet so that when we come to stand on them, they're awake and they're useful. They're working for you. Do it one more time. And then bring them back down. Okay. Now keeping the feet hip distance apart, see if, now that you've woken up the feet, if you can feel the big toe mounds, which is this part of the foot, not the big toe. The big toe mound is just there. See if you can get that feeling of it really pressing into the wall, along with the little toe mound and the inner and outer heel. So you've got all four corners of your feet pressing up against the wall. Then bring your arms down by your sides, palms facing the ceiling, so your shoulder blades can sink into the back. You're then, as you're pressing into the four corners of your feet, just going to tilt your tailbone up towards the ceiling, and then tilt your tailbone down towards the floor. So you're just doing a couple of little pelvic tilts to start bringing that awareness into the pelvis, and also moving it a little bit, so you're just opening up a little bit of the synovial fluid around the pelvis, which is kind of, if you think of it like oil for a tin can, or for, you know, the Tin Man, that's basically what synovial fluid is for us. It's our oil. And you're trying to get pretty much the same movement, the same amount of movement one way as you are the other. One more. And then pressing into those four corners of the feet, start to really gently tilt your pelvis up towards the ceiling so your pubic bone is really lifting. Sink your ribs down into the floor and then lift your pelvis, your lower back, off of the floor without lifting the ribs. So you don't want to lift the pelvis and then suddenly lift the ribs, which will push you backwards. You want to keep your ribs down and really get the articulation of movement through the lower spine and through the pelvis, which is going to wake up your glutes. And then slowly bring the pelvis back down. So we're really focusing on resetting the movement of the pelvis and resetting the actual positioning of the pelvis right now. Everyone will be different here, so only go as far as you can without letting the ribs pop up off the floor. The back of your ribs are kind of the middle of your back, so the lower back of your ribs. If you find those, then you know where you need to get to. You want to pretty much get the lower back off the floor, but really feel like you're waking up and working the glutes to lift your pelvis in this way. And you're going to do it just one more time and then keep it lifted. Then you can place your hands on your hip bones just to keep an awareness around that space. Push into the four corners of the feet and just gently pulse the pelvis up and down, keeping it in that position, so you're trying not to drop the tailbone down as you're bringing your pelvis down slightly. It's just little tiny pulses, so you're really firing up the glutes, really waking up the glutes. One more. And then slowly bring the pelvis back down. Ooh, gets my bum on fire. I hope it does yours too. So now we're going to lift the pelvis again, pushing into those four corners of the feet. Lift it in exactly the same way. So you're again really waking up those glutes. And then this time push into the left foot and see if you can just bring that right foot off the wall without letting the right hip come down. And then bring it back. Then you're pushing into the right foot and you're going to bring that left foot off the wall. And then bring it back. And again. One foot at a time without moving the pelvis. Keep breathing. And again, you can keep your hands on your hips so you've got them as feedback to tell you whether your pelvis is shifting or not. Ooh, you should be really feeling it in the bum now. 2 more. And then nice and slowly, pelvis comes back down. Yee. Lovely. Okay. Now you can bring your feet down, roll to your side. If you've got your blankets and cushion, like me, we can move them out the way now. We're not going to use them again. Lovely. Okay. And then bring yourself to an all fours position with your feet on the wall. So I want you to have it so that you've got your toes tucked under and your heels pressing up against the wall. And then you can walk your hands back so you're in a nice little tabletop position. And for the moment, just hold it in this position. Get that flexion of the ankles. For a lot of you, this might be really difficult to be able to get the heels to come to the wall. So you're just going to keep trying as much as you can to push those heels back, and then you can let them rest off for a second if it's too much. Again, you're pushing the heels back, and then you're letting them rest. And as you're doing this, just keep a little awareness on what's happening in the ribs and the belly. Try not to let it flop. Keep it controlled. So if you can do that one more time. See, the only thing is we all have skirting boards, right? So it does mean that we have to work a little harder to get that flexion in the ankles. But it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. Okay, now allow the heels to kind of come to wherever they will go. Because of the skirting board, they won't really stay on the wall in that position, but keep them tucked under and just keep the feet on the wall so you have that connection. You have that awareness. And then wrists underneath your shoulders. Knees underneath your hips. You're going to keep your head in line with your spine. Try not to lift the chin. Keep it slightly tucked. And then we're going to focus on just the upper back. So you're going to take a breath in. Pull your hands back without moving them and let that pull your chest forwards. It will kind of look like my head is doing this, but it's not. My head is staying in this position. It's just my chest pulling forwards. And then my ribs kind of dropping. Then you're pushing into your hands as you breathe out. Just expand the upper back, let the shoulder blades widen. And then again, let the chest drop, let the ribs drop and pull the chest forwards, which will draw your shoulder blades together. Let them squeeze towards each other a bit. And then again, push into the hands and round your upper back as you exhale. As you inhale again, let the ribs drop, chest come forward, and you should feel this gives you a nice bit of a stretch and an opening in the chest. And in the space between your ribs, if you're really stuck in the ribs, which a lot of people are, and I seem to be finding as I'm getting more and more pregnant, because of the movement of the ribs, I can really feel that space kind of stretches beautifully in this position in a really nice way. Even if you're not pregnant, you can feel that. I mean, I remember that feeling. So it's a nice one. Let those shoulders come together as you're inhaling and taking the chest forwards. As you're exhaling, you're rounding the upper back as much as you can. You're keeping that connection to the wall with your feet. Do it just one more time. Both the inhale, letting those shoulders come together, and then the exhale. And then you're going to stop somewhere in between the middle, in the center. So you still have the belly engaged, you have the ribs engaged, and your shoulder blades are just sitting really nicely on the back of the ribs. Now as you're pushing your feet into the wall, can you push into your left hand Start to feel a connection from your left hand to the outside of your left ribs in a way that feels like it's pulling you into the center. As you pull into the center, you're going to extend the right arm straight out in front of you without letting this happen. So you're not going to let the body shift. Everything stays completely centered. The right arm stretches out. And then you come back. It should feel like it's not hard work, but it's working the outside of the shoulder, the outside of the ribs, and the armpit. And we're going to do the same on the other side. So push down into the right hand, keep that right shoulder blade connected to the back. Feel that hugging into the side of your right rib, and extend the left arm out. And then down again. Same with the left hand. Pull it down and back. Right arm comes out. Whole time keeping the chin slightly tucked, front of the throat lifted. Right hand pushes down, left arm comes out. Again, left hand pushes down, right arm comes out. One more time. And then back down. Okay. Now again, keeping that connection from the left hand to the left shoulder, you're going to push it down and take your right hand to the back of your head. Then just gently pull the front of the throat into the back. Take a big breath in, and then from your ribs, open up to the right. And then back to center. Pushing the feet into the wall the whole time is going to help you stay connected to your core. Back to center. Again. One more. Good. Then we're going to swap sides. So right hand comes back down, pushing into the floor, get that connection to the side of the ribs. Left hand comes to the back of the head. Again, the head pushes into the hand. As you inhale, open up from the ribs. Exhale, come back to center. Inhale, open up from the ribs, just turning around that shoulder, back to center as you exhale. One more. Whew, beautiful. Back to center. Okay, from here, take your pelvis right back to your heels. Now again, if you're pregnant, especially if you're as pregnant as me, you're going to need to widen your feet and widen your knees to make room for the belly. If you're not pregnant, then you don't have to worry about that. You just stay hip distance apart. You're going to keep your hips right back to your heels and those feet stay connected to the wall. Then slowly walk your hands forward. Start to find that length. Slowly start to feel that length in the sides of your waist. Push back through the feet. Take the hands a little bit further forwards. And then you stop just before you feel like you're kind of losing the connection between the shoulders and the body, or the arms and the shoulders. You want to feel the whole time that you can really connect your hands into the floor and your arms into your sockets. So you feel that the shoulders can sit really nicely on the back of the ribs. Now pushing down into the hands, pushing into the wall with your feet. You're going to take a big breath in. And as you exhale, push up through the legs and up through your hips. Keep your shoulders sitting on the back of the ribs. Let your head relax. And then really press your feet into the wall. Use your feet to, again, keep the core engaged and working, and to help you find more lift in the hips. Then from there, I want you to bend your knees and then really push your hips back. Get a bit of a rounding in your back. And then again, push up through the hips. Let that come back to a nice neutral spine, pushing into your hands. Again, bend your knees. Let the lower back round a bit. Push it back up. Lifting through the hip crease. Again, bend your knees. Let it round the lower back. Push back up. One more time. Bend the knees. Rounding the lower back. Push back up through the hip crease. Keep pressing into the fingers, into the knuckles. And then pushing into your left foot, you're going to take a step forwards to your right hand without moving your hand. So go as far as you can, which might mean you only get, let's say, to about here without moving the hand. That is fine. Wherever you get to, stop, bring that foot back. Then you press into the right foot, keep pressing into your hands, take the left foot forwards as far as you can without lifting the hand. And step it back. You're going to go again with the right leg. Taking it as far forwards as you can, stepping it back. Use the wall with that opposite foot to help you stay connected to the core. This movement really comes from the core, as well as opening in the hips, yes, but it comes from the core because you need that bit of a lift in the belly to get it there. We're going to do one more each side. Last one. Step it back. This time take that right foot forwards, keep it wherever it goes. So if it only gets halfway, stop there and then bring the left knee down. If it's got to here, then step the right foot forward and then lift up. You will have to excuse me getting so out of breath. This is a pregnancy thing. You'll notice in my other videos I don't get anywhere near as out of breath as this. So I'm going to take my time. Maybe you're as out of breath as I am. I kind of hope that you are. Just because it will really get you working and sweating and hot. So in this position, your left foot has probably come off the wall just because of how I've asked you to come up. So can you scoot yourself back again so that you feel that left foot is on the wall. It's connected. Now push it into the wall. Pull your right foot back towards the wall, towards the left foot, squeezing the legs towards each other. That's going to start to pull your pelvis into this scissoring action that drags the right leg forwards, the left hip forward, drags the right leg backwards and the left hip forwards rather. And then you're going to start to feel a bit of an opening in that left hip. From there, take your hands to your ribs and take a big breath in there. And again. One more. And if you ever get really uncomfortable under that left knee, feel free to grab yourself a blanket, cushion, whatever, and just place it underneath the knee. Or if you have knee problems, do this rather than from the floor, do it from here. So you're in more of a lunge position. And again, you can use that foot on the wall to keep that connection. It's totally fine to stay slightly upwards. Then whether you're on the floor, whether you're in your lunge position, you keep squeezing the legs together, pushing that left foot into the wall, left big toe mound especially. And then inhale and raise your arms without your ribs coming forwards. Grab a hold of your left wrist. Keep your shoulder blades sitting on the back of the ribs. Breathe in and reach out of your ribs to go over to the right. Be careful as you turn, you're not doing this, you're not twisting to the right. You're bringing your ribs up and over. Like there's a ball on your right side. And then back to center. Then take the arms out in front of you, palms up. Push into that left foot, pulling the right foot back. Lift that back knee off the floor if you haven't already. If you're there already, great, you're there already. You want that left foot to stay tucked under and then press more into the heel now. So you're less on the big toe mound, you're more pushing into the back of the left heel. And then as you're pushing into the wall, just gently bend the left knee and bend the right knee a bit more. So you're getting more of the pelvis coming into neutral, and again, this leg backwards, this leg forwards. Inhale, raise your arms up. Let the shoulder blades lift, and then bring them all the way down. Again, inhale up, let the shoulder blades lift, bring them back down. There's no movement in the ribs, no change in the core. Up, and then down. One more time. And then down. And then this time, keep it up. From there, straighten your back leg, which will bring your body forward slightly. You're keeping your spine in neutral, your chin is slightly tucked, your front of the throat is lifted. You keep your front knee soft, and then either you can keep your arms straight out if you know that you have this connection from the arms to the ribs, or feel free to take your hands to your hips. But either way, you're going to start to bring your weight into your right foot and take that left foot off of the floor. It will be away from the wall now. You're keeping your pelvis in neutral. Don't let that left hip lift. Keep it really stable. Then with the left leg, just gently turn it in and out. Again, so we're really moving and waking up that synovial fluid. And then step the left foot forward. Oh, you should be feeling the right glute is awake, the right leg has been awake, and you're really working the whole body now. We're getting a little bit of a sweat on, a little bit of heat running through the body. Now from here, inhale, raise your arms up, keep the ribs back, belly back, and then from your hips, start sitting back. As you sit, don't let your ribs pop forwards, keep them hugged in. And then from there, fold forwards, bringing your hands to the ground. If you're, again, as pregnant as me, make your feet a bit wider. Hands come down to the floor. And then you're going to take a step back with your right leg. And then a step back with your left leg. And again, you're going to bring those feet to the floor, to the wall. And place your palms flat. Push your hips right back to your heels again. And again, find that length. Don't be too long that you lose the connection from the hands to the shoulders, just long enough to keep that connection. You keep your chin tucked in, front of the throat lifted. Push into the wall with your feet, lift your knees, pop up to down dog. Get those toes to stay tucked under, the heels really push into the wall, and that will help you to get that lift in the hips and keep the core engaged. Then pushing into both hands, you're going to take that left foot forwards now to the left hand. Again, if it doesn't quite get there, grab it, pull it forwards. Bring the right knee down and bring yourself up. And again, just scooch that right foot back until you have the foot touching the wall. Then same as we did on the other side, start squeezing the legs towards each other. So the back hip comes forwards, the front hip comes back. And you get the glute to switch on, your back glute especially. The ribs hug in, the belly hugs in. From there, inhale, raise your arms. And again, as I said on the other side, you can be off your knee if you want. Grab your right wrist, breathe in, lift up and out of your ribs. And then back to center. Keep the arms lifted, push into that right foot, lift up off of that right knee. So you're in that lunge position again. From here, again, you're squeezing your legs towards each other. You're going to bend your back knee, bend your front knee. Keep hugging the hips in this scissoring action, really feeling that back glute switch on, ribs hugging in. Raise your arms up, let the shoulder blades lift, take them down. Raise them up, let the shoulder blades lift, take them down. One more time. Keep the arms lifted or place your hands on your hips. Straighten out that back leg, which is going to push you forwards. Really push into the wall to keep your pelvis in neutral. Staying in that neutral pelvis, slowly shift your weight forwards to that left foot without the right hip lifting up. Keep it neutral. And then just twist the right leg in and out. Waking up that synovial fluid again. And step the right foot forward. Beautiful. Bring the arms down. Now from there, take a nice big breath in. Press into the feet. Raise the arms. And again, from your hips, sit back. Beautiful. If you're as pregnant as me, make your feet wider so that you have space to fold forwards from the hips in a neutral spine position, your chin staying tucked in. Place your hands down on the floor. Take a step back with your left foot. Bring the knee down, take a step back with your right foot. So you come back to this position. Now again, feet are on the floor, on the wall. This time we're going to take our elbows down underneath our shoulders. So you're in this position. Now to check that your elbows are the right width for your shoulders, all you need to do is just see if you can grab the outside of your upper arms and then bring the hands back. If you don't have quite enough space in your shoulders, you can bring your hands towards each other, but keep those elbows in line with your shoulders. Don't let them go wider, otherwise you lose connection. Now pushing down into your forearms, let your head relax, again into a neutral spine position. Push down into your forearms, your hands, push into the wall with your feet, and then again from your hips, you're going to float them up. And keep that nice lift through the hip bones. Now really push into the wall with your feet. Let that keep the belly engaged and keep you lifted. And then lower. I know it's a lot on those shoulders, it's a lot on those arms, But trust me, it does some amazing work for the back of the body to open it up. Again, push into the forearms, into your feet, and then push the heels to the wall, lift the hips. And then back down again. Good, 2 more. Push into the forearms, lift the hips, push into the wall with the feet, and back down. 1 more time. Getting hair in my mouth. Now from here, either stay here or bring the right foot off and back. Then left foot off and back. Do as many of those as you can, or you come down and you come up and you do the same thing again. Being pregnant, I kind of have to come up and down. It's exhausting, I tell you. You come up, right foot off, and then left foot off. The aim here is not to let the pelvis shift. So you're using the wall to keep the core engaged, to get that lift in your hips, and then that will bring one leg off and the other leg off. You're going to do 1 more. You lift, right leg off, left leg off, and then down. Nice one. And then lift the elbows up. Push the hips right back again. Get those hands into a position where the arms stay connected to the shoulders. Push down into the 4 corners of the hands. And then breathe in, lift yourself back to down dog. From here, push into the left foot, into the wall, step the right foot forward without moving a hand, which I just did, so we're going to do that again, without moving a hand, and then lift up. Good. From this position, turn your left foot out. You're then going to push the outer edge of the left foot into the wall, walk the right foot forwards, so the heel comes in line either with the heel or with the middle of the foot. From there, your left hand comes to the wall, right arm straight out. Take a big breath in, because I need to. Right arm comes straight out. Now from here, if this feels like it's enough of an opening in your hips and you can really push down into that left foot, then stay in this slightly shorter warrior 2 position. If you feel like you're not feeling it that much, you could go longer. You're going to scooch your right foot ever so slightly further forwards. Now don't start going so far that you lose the connection to the left foot. You want to push the outer edge of the left foot down to the floor and the whole leg moving into that left side. Right arm stays stretched out. From here, as you push into that left side, that left foot, you should be feeling the back of the left leg and that left glute is switched on. You're then going to bend your right knee more. So you're opening up the whole of that front part of the pelvis to open up the right knee. Check that your right knee isn't dropping in. It needs to stay in line with the middle toes. Right arm stays stretched out. From here, you keep the legs in this position. You're going to take your left arm straight out and up, turn the right palm to the ceiling, breathe in, and as you breathe out, reach up out of your ribs and go up and over to the right. Keep pushing into that left foot. Your left leg is the one that's doing all the work. Then inhale. As you exhale, reach up and all the way over to the wall. Let the left hand come back to the wall. See if you can get the right fingertips to touch without this happening in the right knee. Keep the pelvis in neutral. Inhale back to center. Turn slowly back to the front of the room. Place your hands on your hips now. Push the left heel into the wall to push your body forwards again so your spine stays in neutral. Push into the right big toe mound, staying in a neutral pelvis. Shift your weight into that right foot. It's like a little push off the wall. You keep your right knee slightly bent, keeping your hands on your hips. I want you to turn out through your right foot without moving it, to turn on the outer right glute and then open that left hip up towards the ceiling. And then bring it back to center. Do the same thing again, turning out through the right foot without moving it to switch the right glute on. Keep your ribs in your belly back. Open up the left hip. Take it back to center, do it 1 more time. Out through the right foot without moving it. Open up that left hip. Bring it to the front. Wow. Right glute should be on fire. This is hard work. but good work. We are seriously opening the whole body up right now. Now can you take your hands to your lower back, so your palms are facing backwards, your hands are on your sacrum basically. You're going to keep them there, take a nice big breath through the belly, to the ribs, to the chest. Let the shoulder blades sink into the back. And then from there, keep the shoulder blades on the back of the body as you take your arms forward. Ribs stay back. And then from your hips, sit back. Good. From here, again, if you're like me, widen your feet. Otherwise, stay where you are, but fold from your hips, your head staying tucked in. Fingertips come down to the floor. Step back with your left leg, straight out. You should be far enough forwards now to take yourself into a full plank position. I'm just going to show you that briefly. You come to full plank, then you lower the knees if you're pregnant. If you're not pregnant, no need to lower the knees. You're going to walk yourself back until you find the wall. Once you've found the wall, bring yourself back to that plank position if you've brought the knees down. And if you've brought those knees down, all you do to bring yourself back to plank is push into the balls of the feet, get that to switch the core on, and take the chest forwards, the spine lengthens down. Don't collapse the belly or the ribs, keep it hugged in. And then push back through your hips, down into your hands. Again, if you need to, like me, widen your knees, widen your feet, push yourself back up to down dog. Keep pressing those feet into the wall, hands down into the floor, head relaxed. Keeping the belly and the ribs hugged in. From here, we're going to step the left foot forwards. Again, without moving the hand. And then from there, slowly lift up and turn the right foot out. You're going to press the outer edge of that right foot into the wall and do the same as you did on the other side, walking that left foot forwards until the heel lines up with either the heel or the inner arch. Once you're there, right hand comes to the wall. Don't worry about the right arm being bent, you kind of want it to be. You're then pushing the outer edge of the right foot into the floor and the whole leg into the wall. Then left arm out to the side. Have a little look at your left knee. Check it's not already started rolling in. Keep it turned out. Check in with your own pelvis. How do you feel in this position? Do you feel like you could go a little bit longer, or are you perfectly fine in that slightly shorter warrior two position? Push into the right foot so you feel the right glutes on, the back of the right leg is switched on, and then bend your left knee like it's coming away from your right leg. And again, check that that left knee stays in line with the middle toes. Keep the ribs tucked in, belly hugged in, and then from there you turn your left palm to the ceiling. You take your right arm straight out in front of you and up to the ceiling. So you're in like a 90-degree angle with your arms right now. Keep pushing into the wall with your right foot. That right leg is your strong leg, your power leg. Breathe in, reach up out of the ribs and go up and over to the left. Your pelvis doesn't change, ribs don't change, you're just lengthening through the waist. Inhale back to center, let that right hand come to the wall, keep pushing into that right leg, and then breathe in and go up and over to the left, to the right, sorry, if you can, getting the left fingertips to touch the wall. Keep turning that right foot into the wall. And then inhale, come back to center. Slowly turn through that right foot, bringing that right heel onto the wall. Now squeeze your legs towards each other. So again, your back hip comes forwards, your front hip comes backwards. You're nice and square in the pelvis. Your spine is in neutral. Arms out in front. Push into the back heel to straighten the back leg and to bring your body forwards with a neutral spine. Bend your left knee and you're going to shift the weight straight into that left foot. Oop, don't worry if you lose your balance. Bring yourself back to it. Keep your left knee bent and then turn out with that left foot without moving it. Hands to your hips and open up with the right hip. Come back to center. This is my weaker side, so I'm going to end up coming really off balance. Again, pregnant thing, you get very off balance. It's totally fine. If you have a chair beside you, use it so it will help you find your balance, but don't use it to hold yourself. Use it just to keep a check of your balance. You're keeping the left knee bent, your spine is neutral, you turn out through the left foot without moving it, and you open up through that right hip. And back to center. One more. Turn out through the left foot without moving it, open up the right hip, step that foot forward. Wow. Woohoo. Woohoo. I hope you're as knackered as I am. Now from here, push down into your feet, hands on your ribs. We're going to slide the hands down the body to bring them to the floor. So chin stays tucked in, slide the hands down, let the hips hinge, knees bend. Again, if you need to, you widen your feet, you keep your chin tucked in, ribs hugged in, which is what the hands are going to help you do. Place your palms down, take a step back with your left foot, step back with your right foot, palms come flat. You're away from the wall right now, and then feet flat. From here, push down into the feet so that you're really feeling them connected to the floor. We're away from the wall, so don't worry about the wall now. Just push down into the feet. As you push down into the feet, walk your hands forwards, but keep your hips pushing back. Not all the way to the heels, just staying in that hip distance position. And then from here, you're going to walk your hands to the left, place your right hand on top of your left, and then breathe in, push forwards with your hands and back with your hips. And then let that really open up the right side of your waist. Hug the left rib into the back. Take a big breath in. Walk back to the center. Then walk the hands over to the right. Place the left hand on top of the right. And then same thing, push the hands forwards, push your hips back. Hug the right ribs into the back. And then breathe into the left side of the body. Walk the hands back to the center. And then again, if you're pregnant, you're going to go and grab your cushions, grab your blankets. Yes, we are coming to the relaxing stage. We have done the hardest work. You're going to bring your cushions or blankets back into the position they were in before, back at the very beginning. If you aren't pregnant and you don't need them, don't worry about it. And then come and lie down on your back, nice and flat. Legs stretched out, arms relaxed out. Close your eyes and really let the body surrender to the floor. Oh, I tell you, we deserve this after that hard work. But I hope in this position, if you scan your body from your feet to your hips to your shoulders, you can feel that sense of being a little bit more reset and renewed and in line. So you feel even and aware of your whole body. Having that awareness in the body allows us to move much more freely in our day-to-day, to move in a way that stops us from injuring ourselves and stops us from blocking ourselves off from the world and the energy around us. Take a couple more deep breaths here. And then nice and gently just bring your legs towards each other. Point your feet. If your feet touch the wall, great, then it's not a problem. Link your fingers and turn your hands away from you so the palms face the ceiling. Inhale, let your shoulder blades raise, keep the ribs tucked in, and then just bring your arms up and overhead and just lengthen through the whole of your body, from your fingers all the way down to your toes, without letting the ribs pop up. So you want to feel like you're lengthening out through the whole of the spine and the sides of the waist. And then bring it back to center. Unlink the fingers, bend the knees, roll to your side, and slowly come up to sitting. Well done. I hope you feel as reset and renewed as I do right now. And I hope that you have an absolutely amazing 2020. I am going to be bringing you videos every single week now, possibly not when I've gone into labour, but I'm going to try my best to bring you a video every single week and make sure that you are set every single week to move freely, to move really functionally and really well, so that you stay completely injury free and you get stronger and healthier and more connected to your own body. If you liked this video, if you loved this video, then please share it, like it, comment. It really, really helps my channel to get seen, because YouTube have now changed their algorithm so that you have to have likes and comments from people. They want to see that people are interacting with you. So please interact with me. It would be wonderful. I would love that. Share it with your friends if you loved the video. I'm sure that they would benefit from it as much as you did. And I will see you next time. Namaste.